Hey, what's up guys, TechTitan here and I'm back again with a brand new video. So this is kind of a long awaited video, but this is going to be my impressions or my first look of the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G. So this phone officially launched in the United States on April 18th and here we are 10 days later. That's when I was able to get my unit. So let's go ahead and talk about it, beginning with the design itself. So this phone is made basically out of plastic and glass, and if you have kind of a darker color, then one of the things that you'll notice is that this phone will catch fingerprints like crazy, and it's more apparent on like darker colors. One, it is glossy because it's made out of glass. Two, the fact that it's fingerprint magnet may bother some people. Honestly, me personally, it doesn't really bother me that much. I can just clean it easily. And the back also has a triple camera setup, which we will definitely discuss later on. If you look at the right hand side of the phone, then you'll see kind of a familiar formula. So one, you have your power button slash volume up and down, and if you pay attention you'll see that it has the same indentation on these sides as the Galaxy A15, the Galaxy A25, and even the Galaxy A55. If you look at the bottom, you get your fast 25 watt wired USB-C port as well as two microphones and your bottom facing speaker. So as I mentioned, this phone does have this kind of overall boxier design. If I was to kind of nitpick, I would say for 400 bucks, I wish it had metal sides instead of plastic. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about this display. So Samsung kind of gave us I would say an upgraded display in a way from the Galaxy A25 or the Galaxy A15. So basically you get a 6.6 inches AMOLED display, 2340 by 1080p with 390 pixels per inch. You have a variable refresh rate from 60 to up to 120 hertz of refresh rate, so it's a very smooth display. This phone does also support HDR, and it's using Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, which one of the things that I've noticed about the display is how reflective it is, whether you're in indoor conditions or outdoor conditions. The bezels are slightly larger than I would say for 400 bucks I would like, but they don't bother me that much. And as I stated before, this phone does support a variable refresh rate of up to 120 hertz, so you have the ability to take advantage of it if you want to, which is nice. However, I wish that it would just let you keep the 120 hertz at all times, or have three options where whether you want 60 hertz, variable refresh rate, or just keep it 120 hertz at all times. It just doesn't have that option. I don't know if you can dig for it in the developer settings or not, but that's besides the point. In addition to the display quality, it does get fairly bright outdoors, so it has a peak brightness of 1000 nits, which is plenty for most people. I know phones now have crazy 2000 nits of peak brightness, but for this type of phone, this type of price point, it gets a thumbs up in my book. So a very solid display, just what you would expect from Samsung. So as far as your performance goes, here's your kind of spec sheet. So this phone does have the Exynos 1380 based on a 5nm architecture. You also have the Mali G68MP5 for GPU. It is an octa-core processor, and it does have base 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage for the kind of carrier version. But if you get the unlocked version, you can opt for the 8GB 128 option. As far as my kind of initial performance review, and it does also have 5000 milliamp hour battery, which is fantastic battery life. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to your daily tasks like opening up the phone app, the messaging app, your browsing the web, anything that requires kind of light use, this phone handles really well. I haven't seen a lot of lagging, but mind you, I've only spent like 6 hours with this phone, so I don't think I can make a kind of conclusion based on that. However, from what I've seen, it gets a thumbs up from my book. Right, if you want to browse your social media or read an article online or something like that, it does it very well, does it very smoothly. I haven't seen it struggle so far just yet. And this phone, by the way, does have an in-display fingerprint sensor similar to the Galaxy A54. As far as the camera goes, you do have a triple camera setup with the following specs. You have a 50 megapixel at f1.8 that does support optical image stabilization, and 8 megapixel at f2.2 that acts as an ultra wide as well as a 5 megapixel macro sensor. And this phone can shoot 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second, and it does use the gyro that acts as electronic image stabilization to give you more stable videos. So with that being said, as far as the camera experience, it's been just what you'd expect from Samsung. As far as picture quality itself, I do have to say that I want to spend a little bit more time with it, but it seems very similar to the Galaxy A54 from last year. So I still have to do more testing, like I said, so I just need to spend a little bit more time with the camera system and just this phone in general to give you guys a proper conclusion. However, here's my next point. So this phone is supposed to be the replacement for the Galaxy A55. So if you live in the United States, you will not get the Galaxy A55 fully supported with US carriers. However, this is going to be the next best thing. And I feel like we got robbed a little bit because the Galaxy A55 and the Galaxy A35 share a very similar price point. I would say, well, there's like a $70 difference, but I've used the Galaxy A55. The A55 felt way better as a design, as a camera experience, even as a display. It just felt slightly better as a performance. Yeah, I feel like we got robbed with this one, and I feel like this is definitely going to go as an underrated phone just because of its high price point in my book. A lot of people may opt in to get the A25 before they get the A35, or get the A15 before they even think about the A35. So with that being said, I have a lot more to kind of test out with this phone so I can draw a proper conclusion. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think about the A35? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? The comment section is open for you guys, for us to have a conversation about this phone, so make sure to leave a comment if you're interested or if you have any questions. So with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate everyone for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. Leave a thumbs up, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching.